So my story of how I got into broadcasting is certainly atypical. I spent most of my 20s in the performing business. I lived in New York City. I worked on cruise ships for many years. Then met my husband in Nashville in a show. My parents were both English teachers, and I've always loved writing, and that's how I had an interest in news. Again, such an atypical story, and it just took one news director in a very small market, Sherman, Texas, to give me a shot. He saw my reel that I had put together and thought, she was a good storyteller, I'll give her a shot. And so I actually was working on a cruise ship. I quit my job, flew from Vancouver to Dallas, Texas, and drove to this little tiny town called Sherman, Texas, and read on a TV set for the very first time the next morning, and it went well enough that he gave me the job. So my story in that is that it takes one person to give you a chance and prove yourself, and so then I started working crazy hours, morning anchor, get to work at midnight, and just really fell in love with the news business. I've always been a person that just loves being a part of something that's important, and that's why I've done a lot of work locally with a lot of nonprofits, because that's what makes our community special. Ever since I've worked in news, I've been a morning anchor at 2 stations. I mean, you never have normal hours in news. You understand that going in, otherwise you wouldn't be in news anymore. So it's just who we are. We just make it work. That's kind of how life works. And then somebody asks me to do an event and you just make it happen. If it's important to you, you make it happen.